I'm most pleased to be here in London, where I've had a very good discussion with the Prime Minister on the main challenges ahead of us: securing economic recovery and taking the international climate change negotiations forward. Both issues will require the full engagement of the Union at the highest political level. This is why I took the initiative to convene a special meeting of the European Council of the EU Heads of State and of Government on the 11th of February to examine those two issues. We also exchanged views on that human tragedy, on the dramatic situation in Haiti, and how the European Union can best contribute to improving the situation there. Given the magnitude of this drama, I've also decided to bring this up at the 11th of February informal summit to see how, after the emergency help, we can give support to reconstruction. First, as regards the economic crisis, we need to see how we can quickly overcome the short-term challenges linked to the crisis, and how at the same time we can press ahead with the structural changes necessary to sustain future economic growth. One thing is clear already now: we need to come back to an economic growth which is sustainable and which is at least 2% in order to preserve our way of life as to keep up with the other major economies in the world. We will take a close look at formulating a new economic strategy which we need in order to help Member States to come back to a growth pact. It will be crucial that the heads of state and of government are closely associated from the outset with this process. This will not only ensure their commitment to implement what has been agreed, but it will lend to the whole process the full authority of the European Council. At our meeting of the 11th of February, I plan to have an extensive discussion on this future strategy, so that some broad outlines may emerge. Then later on, at our regular spring meeting in March, we will have a more structured discussion in the light of our February brainstorming and on the basis of a communication from the Commission. And finally, the aim is to approve the new strategy at our June European Council. The second important issue to be discussed at our informal meetings is combating climate change. This is not a policy field like others. It is an issue which is followed closely by the public. It is a test case for the efficiency and trustworthiness of political decision makers. The outcome of the Copenhagen conference was certainly insufficient, but there are elements to build on and to achieve more positive results in the near future. One thing became clear in Copenhagen: this process is probably more complicated and complex than we have thought, and therefore I think we need to take sufficient time over the coming months to reflect carefully on the lessons to be drawn from Copenhagen. We need to carefully analyze the causes of the limited results and examine how we can modify favorably the dynamics of the negotiation process. We have also to take into account internal sensitivities when embarking on these next steps. And above all, we need to reflect on strategic questions: how we can reinforce our influence at the international level, how can we enhance our persuasive strengths, and how can we best take the process forward. At the end, all of us have been deeply moved by the plight of Haiti and its people. The European Union and its member states have responded quickly in order to alleviate suffering and restore minimum conditions for the population. The European Commission has taken a preliminary commitment of €30 million in humanitarian aid, and to which must be added the commitments of the member states of further €92 million. The European Union is prepared to provide further assistance in response to emerging needs and is committed to helping Haiti in the longer run with its reconstruction. The International Conference for Reconstruction of Haiti will be central to these efforts. Yesterday, Baroness Ashton convened an extraordinary meeting of the EU ministers to coordinate and to strengthen help coming from the narrow quarters in the European Union. Pledges for humanitarian and reconstruction efforts of the European Union and its member states already amount to €400 million. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question.